Shalom, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai. Call on Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the men who I learned this truth from, starting with the apostles and owners of Great Millstone. Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatam to the hopeful elect. Alright, and kind of fairly go through this fairly quickly. I've been trying to do this lesson for like the past 24 hours, and it's another one of those things. The app malfunctions and it just stops recording. So I'm gonna try to get through this fairly quickly. But this is in regards to the new strain of the virus, the C virus, that supposedly they found. They discovered out there in the UK. All right, and so now they're talking about a barring of the flights, all right, and more restrictions and lockdowns and things of that nature. All right, so because some of the older brothers that I watch, they went into this, and it's important to get into these topics because a lot of people don't take these things serious about what goes on in these other countries and things of that nature because it's not happening so to say here at home, here in America. But nevertheless, all right, like I said, it's good to pay attention to what's going on because all this stuff that's going on in these other countries was basically a precursor to what's going to go down here in America in the very near future. All right, because like the saying in the world, the best is saved for last. In America, all right, this place is long overdue for judgment. So this place is going to catch the worst. All right, because again, with the new strain of the C virus, there's a mutation. All right, and with that again, you can expect more lockdowns, more restrictions, and things of that nature. And these things are going to lead to the seditions among men, martial law. Just want to touch on in this video. So again, the title here says, with Christmas canceled over England C COVID mutation, Dutch ban UK flights. All right, so getting into it, it says starting Sunday, no flights from the United Kingdom. And like I said, I was trying to do this video for like the past 24 hours. So, because what's today? Monday, I believe. So, it says starting Sunday, no flights from the United Kingdom will be allowed into the Netherlands due to a new strain of C19 discovered in Britain. The flight ban was announced shortly after UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson declared a new lockdown. It says the ban on UK flights will last until January 1st at the earliest and may be extended, according to a statement published Saturday by the Dutch government. The order followed the discovery of a new case of the new C virus mutation in the country. The case, which was first discovered at the start of December, is being investigated by Dutch health workers, the Dutch government said, And just like with the first lockdown, all right, it was only supposed to be for a couple of weeks or whatever, but it ended up being a couple of months. So when they set these parameters dealing concerning these lockdowns, and they said we want to go on these lockdowns for a certain amount of time, you can expect an extension. All right, just like, well, as a matter of fact, got this article here. This is what is going on in Oregon. All right, this article here says Oregon's Democratic governor extends C virus state of emergency lockdowns until March. All right, and I'm not going to read the article, but supposedly, see if I can find it real quick. right here it says the declaration, which provides the legal underpinning for Brown to enact executive orders banning business operations and closing schools, was set to expire on January 2nd, but now has been extended an additional 60 days and will end on March 3rd. So you see, because the initial lockdown or whatever was supposed to end on January 2nd, but they want to extend it to the 3rd of March. All right, because again, the point being, expect them to extend these lockdowns more and more. You can expect it. Don't be surprised. All right, things get out of control or whatever. Because I just saw today that where was it at? I think it was South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Supposedly there's a report about this new strain. Somehow it spread. There's a case in South Africa. I believe I saw something. I could be wrong, but in Italy, all right, something was going on over there concerning this new strain. All right, so again, with the first pandemic of the C virus, how it affected, spread through the world. All right, and just look at the damage, so to say, that took place. You can imagine because again, with this, expect more and more restrictions, more draconian measures. All right, there will be a second shutdown. All right, because they're about to shut this place down completely. All right, eventually, it will come here to America. All right, so going back to this article, it says pending further information and an explanation of the epidemiological situation in the United Kingdom, the Public Health Institute recommends that any introduction of this virus strain from the United Kingdom should be limited as much as possible by limiting or controlling passenger movements. The Dutch government said in the statement, as translated by The Independent, in the coming days, the cabinet will, in close collaboration with other EU member states, look into the possibilities of further restricting imports of the virus from the United Kingdom. So again, more lockdowns, more restrictions, more draconian measures, they're going to take to, supposedly stop this virus, this new strain of virus from spreading around the world. All right. So jumping on down, it says, as of December 13th, 1,108 cases of the mutated virus named VUI 2020-12/01 had been identified in the UK, according to the BMJ. The journalist published by the British Medical Association. Though the majority of cases were found in southeast England, cases have been reported across the UK, including the Wales and Scotland. The BMJ says, this new strain was first discovered in late September and likely did not come from abroad, evolving in the United Kingdom. It says earlier on Saturday, Johnson announced that the UK was going to enter into a new Tier 4 lockdown, which requires people stay at home except for essential workers. In addition, all non-essential businesses were closed. Yeah, and that's why, over there, if I'm not mistaken, London, or you got a mass exodus. People are trying to get the hell out of Dodge before they bring in these lockdowns, these Tier 4 lockdowns. People are trying to flee out there in London. All right. It says the order also prohibits families from meeting inside on Christmas, limiting socializing to meeting outdoors with just one other person from outside the household. It is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned, Johnson said at a news conference. I sincerely believe there is no alternative open to me, because again, like what they did with the Thanksgiving, all right, they wanted people to, basically play it safe, no large gatherings and things of that nature, and because they predicted there would be a surge, all right. And sure enough, all right, supposedly, because they know people aren't gonna, when it comes to the holidays, people, they're gonna say the hell with that, and they're gonna come together, gatherings and things of that nature. They know they know this, all right. So it's a perfect excuse for them to inflate the numbers, and all these surge in cases and even a new mutation supposedly, right? You know, it's a perfect excuse because again, with Thanksgiving and the New Year's, they know people are gonna come together in these gatherings and things of that nature. They know people are gonna go against orders and do whatever they want. They know this. So now, all right, again, when that takes place, all right, after this holiday season, all right, expect these new inflated numbers, and expect the spread and more cases, surging cases. You can expect all these things. It's pretty predictable move because the elders that I watched, they called Esau out on his gameplay and what he's going to do, because by now Esau, he's getting sloppy. All right, he's very predictable. All right, 2 Corinthians 2:11, where it talks about not being ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, because he again, not only is he getting predictable, he's getting sloppy with it. All right, like with the videos that have come out, with the people that are taking the vaccine. All right, and they, clearly on video. All right, they show how the needle, the syringe it was already pushed down, and basically now they're coming out basically damage control. All right, like with the one nurse that fainted on television right after she took the vaccine. All right, and they're trying to say that she had a preconditioning. She had she had, because they're saying that the fact that she fainted had nothing to do with the vaccine. All right, they said that she had other conditions, preconditions and things of that nature, which again, it's all damage control, because again, the Esau men, they're getting sloppy. All right, so again, being the fact that they know people are gonna come together for the holidays and New Year's and things of that nature. All right, again, you can expect after the holidays, all right, more surge in cases. All right, and even with this mutation, all right, which again, it's going to justify them. It's going to justify them in making the moves that they're going to make. Which again, eventually there will be, forced vaccines. All right, employers are already talking about employees requiring their employees to take the vaccine. All right, and with that, more restrictions, more lockdowns and things of that nature, because like I said, man, this place is eventually it is gonna be shut down completely. All right, and also on another note, because this guy Boris Johnson, all right, he mentioned earlier, I believe earlier this week, about how there's no need to cancel Christmas. All right, and now with this new strain, all right, unfortunately, we got to cancel Christmas and things of that nature. And it's funny because if I'm also got another article somewhere, actually right here, this guy Dr. Fauci is pretty much saying the same thing. It says, the title here says, Dr. Fauci says there is no need to cancel Christmas, calls claims that he said otherwise nonsense, but he told the BBC his warnings were a cancel Christmas message. All right, and again, I'm not going to read the article, but basically, all right, he sounding a lot like this guy Boris Johnson. All right, at first they didn't want to cancel Christmas, but now there's a new strain and things of that nature. Now we got to cancel Christmas. So again, like I said earlier, it's important to pay attention to what's going on, even in these other countries, even though it's not directly affecting here. But again, nevertheless, all right, these things will eventually come around and start touching on the shores of America soon. All right, so I thought that was no coincidence. All right, Dr. Fauci pretty much sounded just like this guy Boris Johnson. All right, so you can expect the same thing. You know, I believe out there in New York, if I'm not mistaken, all right, you know, again, there's so much going on, it's hard to keep up with it, you know, but if I'm not mistaken, out there in New York, you know, they want to go on a shutdown after the holidays. Because again, like I said, you know, they know people are going to come together. They know people are going to defy the orders, all right, and they're going to end up gathering anyways. All right, so again, you know, that's just a perfect excuse for them to hype up the numbers and the surge in all these cases and whatever the case may be. All right, it's a perfect cover up, you know. See. All right, so going back to this article. See, here comes the devil with his nonsense. All right, so it says, I know how much emotion people invest in this time of year and how important it is. For instance, see, this is just a devil now. This is just a devil. What is this? All right, it says, I know how much emotion people invest in this time of year and how important it is, for instance, for grandparents to see their grandchildren, for families to be together. Johnson added, we have said throughout this pandemic that we must and we will be guided by science. When the science changes, we must change our response. All right. It says, this is a change, of course, from Wednesday when Johnson said it would be frankly inhumane to cancel Christmas gatherings. All right, so again, you know, because at first, you know, he didn't want to cancel Christmas, but again, you know, this whole new strain and mutation of the virus and things of that nature. All right, now, you know, they pretty much they got to do what they got to do to stop this mutated virus from spreading. All right, which, like I said, you know, this guy Dr. Fauci, you know, is pretty much sounding like might follow after his footsteps. You know, just have to wait and see. It says, though Johnson said that, you know, the new strain, this new strain, I'm not going to read the whole thing out, was up to 70% more transmissible than the original strain of C19. Nick Loman, professor at microbial and bioinformation at the University of Birmingham, told the BMJ he couldn't say for sure what the new strain was causing this recent spike in new C19 cases in the country. All right, and you know, that's also, you know, concerning the, you know, new strain. All right, you know, if you watch that movie Songbird, all right, I definitely encourage you people to check that movie out, because in that movie, all right, you know, like I mentioned in a previous video, you know, get an idea, it gives you a little bit of a visual, because, you know, the elites, they put their plans, you know, their goals and agendas, things that they want to accomplish, they put it in these different movies and things of that nature, you know. In that movie Songbird, all right, you know, they had a supposedly this because, you know, again, you watch the movie Songbird, all right, you know, it was set in the future, just in I believe it was in the year 2024 or something like that, you know, and it was in based in this a world where this C virus had mutated, you know, because they're in the movie, you know, they had supposedly this virus evolved from the, you know, regular C19, it evolved to the C21 and C22 and you know, C23. So, you know, again, you know, concerning this you know, mutation, all right, you know, with that, because in the movie also, you know, supposedly, you know, it had gone airborne, all right, and, you know, if you're watching a movie, you know, you had people, unless you had an immunity pass, all right, you know, you couldn't leave your home or, you know, your establishment or whatever, you know, you unless you had the immunization pass, all right, you couldn't leave, you know, everything was locked down, you know, you had the different military coming to people's, you know, door, you know, because, you know, every certain amount of time, I believe it was like every morning you had to check your temperature, and things of that nature. You know, and if your readings were off, they would send them boys in, all right, and haul infected people or sick people, people with high fever or whatever. They haul them off to concentration camps and things of that quarantine zones. Slakia, they will haul them off to quarantine zones and things of that nature. All right, but again, without spoiling too much, check out the movie. All right, because definitely interesting. It ties into a lot of what's going on today and possibly what we could see in the future. All right, because again, eventually this place will get shut down. And again, with these restrictions and things of that nature, there's going to be more and more lockdowns, more and more restrictions. All right, people are going to revolt more and more. All right, and it's going to lead to martial law. All right. Go to the book of Ezekiel. Oh no. The book of Ezekiel, the 23rd chapter, starting at verse 24, it says, "And they shall come against thee with chariots, wagons, and wheels, and with an assembly of people." All right, and what's that basically going into is basically, the different military tanks and martial law troops and things of that nature. All right, they're gonna have helicopters and drones that are able to read individuals' faces and check your temperature and all type of stuff. All right, they're gonna come through with them boys. All right, the big guns. Eventually, at some point in time, all right, when things start getting out of hand and things start getting out of control, and because people are gonna become more and more restless. All right, because again, with these lockdowns and these restrictions, all right, it's more and more, little by little, taking away the livelihoods of these people, basically, just making it hard for people to, take care of themselves and provide for their families and things of that nature. So that's when people are gonna, start lashing out, because here it is, with all this tension in the air, you can feel it. This place is getting ready to blow over. People are already frustrated, fatigued. All right. So again, with that, all right, you expect more and more, revolt and tumult, uprising, protests, or riots. All right, you can expect more of these things. It says, "Which shall set against thee buckler and shield and helmet round about, and I will set judgment before them, and they shall judge thee according to their judgment." All right, because again, little by little, more and more. All right, the siege, they're gonna start besieging this place. All right, they already got the military spread throughout. All right, and again, little by little, they're gonna start shutting these cities off, cutting these cities off, shutting this place down. All right, and that in turn, that's gonna because again with that, all right, you got a lot of those truck drivers going on strike. All right, and with these lockdowns, resources are going to become limited. All right, it's going to be a lot harder to, because basically put it like this, man. All right, because even now, so to say, all right, you pretty much almost have the freedom to just go out and go to the grocery store, and do what you want to do for the most part. All right, but little by little, all right, it's not going to be that simple. All right, because like I said, check out that movie Songbird. All right, people couldn't leave their homes unless you had a pass, immunization pass. All right, people couldn't leave their homes, they couldn't leave their establishments. All right, because like I said, supposedly, the virus got to a point, it mutated to a point where it was airborne now. All right, so again, with that, as they more and more lockdowns and more shutdowns, all right, it's going to become a lot more difficult to Get your basic necessities. All right, because like I said, right now you can freely, for the most part, you can freely go out and about and roam around, do what you want. But soon, that's it's not going to be that simple. All right, and again, that's when people are going to start um, losing their mind. Because I believe on the same note, talking about the UK, if I'm not mistaken, they talked about how, saw an article about how they're pretty much banning, they're making it illegal to have sex. You know, so people, for couples that aren't living together, they can't, they won't be able to travel to the partner and get it in or whatever, and that's going to cause a lot of, that's going to cause even more frustration and tension and things of that nature. You know, these unrighteous decrees that Esau is bringing down. All right, it's gonna make these people, it's gonna cause these people to lash out. And again, this is why they're gonna come in with their different chariots and wagons, which again, the modern day tanks and vehicles and troops. All right, the assemblies. All right, because people are gonna revolt more and more. They're gonna start overthrowing government buildings and things of that nature. All right, so just jumping on down. And because again, the best is being saved for last, which America is being preserved for last, because this placement is long overdue for judgment. Before I jump the gun, before I get that in a second, Ezra 15, because there is some more. There's some more meat that I think I want to get out of here. I might have passed it. Matter of fact, I'll read verse 25. It says, "And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee." Yeah, because, when them different foreign troops, because eventually we'll get to a point where foreign troops are going to start touching here in America. All right. And they're going to be on a whole nother ball game. They're not going to be playing no games with these, average American citizens. All right, they're not gonna be playing any games. All right, like I always bring out about how now, you got people standing up against the law enforcement and things of that nature. All right, running law enforcement off the block or whatnot. All right, a lot of those guys are gonna end up quitting and leaving, and even the American military. All right, they're gonna just end up not following through on orders. All right, for more reasons. And again, it's gonna get to a point where eventually, they're just gonna send in someone to get the job done, which would be those foreign troops. All right, and again, they're gonna be on a whole another ball game. Just like you see how Jake, because that's primarily who is running these local law enforcement off the block, is Jake. These Jake neighborhoods, because Jake don't know how to act, which when you read down, it's pretty much what's this is why the Lord is gonna hand Jake over to basically be slaughtered, because Jake just Jake is simple and they don't listen. All right, so these little games that Jake thinks that they're getting away with now by being able to run the police off the block and whatnot. All right, they're not gonna be able to play these games when those foreign troops come in, because eventually, it's not gonna be no talking. It's just gonna be shooting. All right, they're just gonna be taking bullets left and right. All right, bodies are gonna start dropping. So it says, "They shall take away thy nose and thine ears, and thy remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by the fowler. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes and take away thy fair jewels." Yeah, man, because again, the scriptures talk about how the Lord's gonna just hand Jake over to a merciless people. All right. Like here, verse 27, it says, "Thus will I make thy lewdness to cease from thee, and thy whoredom brought from the land of Egypt." So that thou shalt not lift up thine eyes unto me, nor remember Egypt anymore. All right, because basically, like I said, because Jake is simple, they don't listen. All right, because this is really, Jacob's trouble. That's who it's for. Jacob, which would be the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. All right. These different martial law troops and things of that nature is going to be a form of judgment from Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Right, because again, man, these people, man, once they come through, they're not going to be playing no games. All right. So that's it on that. I'm gonna get this because when you go to Deuteronomy 28:52, it says, "And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which Yahweh thy power have given thee." So again, because little by little, all right, they're you're gonna start seeing a sieging, over here in America. Little by little, they're gonna start shutting this place down and cutting the cities off. All right. And again, it's going to get to a point where it's just so bad, all right, because there's no resources, all right. There's going to be nothing. This place is eventually, man, it's going to be a wasteland. It's going to be complete desolate, all right. And this is why when you read on verse 58, it said, Salaki, verse 53, it says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which Yahweh thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee." Because you see, cannibalism is coming back up in a major way, all right. Because again, once they start shutting this place down, all right, it's going to become life is going to become a lot difficult, a lot uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable, all right. Because like I said, the days are coming, you're not going to be able to just freely roam about and go to the grocery store and things of that nature. That time is coming to a abrupt end, all right. And a good example of that is when you just look at the time of during the siege of Jerusalem, all right. Back between you just look around like 70 AD, all right, the siege of Jerusalem, all right. How I believe it was a 3-year siege around Jerusalem, all right. And during that time, all right, it just got so bad, people were eating everything. They were eating the leather off their sandals, and they were just eating everything that they could find, because Esau, all right, the Romans during that time, they cut the cities off, nothing coming in, nothing coming out, all right. And resources became lack. All right, cannibalism. People were eating each other, eating one another, and stuff like that. All right, and that's what's coming back on a major scale. Another siege of Jerusalem, a besieging of Jerusalem. Right, all right, which is a people before it's a place, but nevertheless, this whole place is going to be shut down completely. All right, and again, once the Yahweh Bashem Shai starts taking away, just the average, just being comfortable, once the Lord takes that away, all right, little by little, these people are going to turn into a beastly state, man. It's going to become a dog eat dog world out here, all right. So going to 2nd Ezra 15, and because like I said, America being safe for last, and it tells you, or might be 16. Actually, I think it's here in 15. It talks about the pride, because of the pride of these cities. All right. Bear with me as I look for this. If you don't know by now, you should definitely read 2nd Ezra 15 chapter, 2nd Ezra 16th chapter, because we are living in these times. All right. Okay, well, since I'm already here, let me go ahead and get to the point. 2nd Ezra 15, I start at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Because, like I said, eventually this place, man, this whole planet, all right, that's what I'm talking about. This whole planet, man, is going to be on shutdown. All right. This whole world is in trouble, and only the elect, the remnant is going to be saved out of it. All right, the world to come, that's Salakia. Let me go ahead and read on. Verse 15, it says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Yeah, because again, once these different governors and mayors and things of that nature, they come down with these different restrictions, all right, these draconian laws and these unrighteous decrees and things of that nature, all right. Like the example I used earlier of no sex, all right. That's an unrighteous decree, and as ridiculous as it may sound, all right, it's not far out there for Esau, all right. He's going to start coming out more and more. He's going to start coming out with ridiculous laws and things of that nature, and again, this is what's going to drive the people to, this is what's going to cause the people to just become mad and just lose their shit, all right. And this is why people are going to start saying to hell with the government. All right, and again, you're going to start seeing more uprisings and tumults and riots and protests. All right, people are going to take things into their own hands. They're going to take matters into their own hands. That's why when you read in verse 16, it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, in invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So again, people are just going to take matters into their own hands. All right, like again, the example I used out there in Oregon. All right, with the extension. All right, you can expect people to, and as well as other places, all right. You can just expect people to, just start saying that the hell with this shit, man, and doing, taking matters into their own hands. What is that place? I think it was Portland, where they had their autonomous zone, all right, where basically, people, they set up their own little zone, all right, their own little section, all right. They were kicking. That was one of the places they were kicking the police out, fighting with the police, all right, because they basically they took the law, they took justice into their own hands, and they didn't want to deal with the police or nothing. They ran them off the block. That's just one of many cases, all right. And again, expect more of that to take place throughout here in America, all right. More autonomous zones and things of that nature. All right, which again, that's, all these things more and more is leading up to martial law. And this is why when you read verse 12, verse 17, and that's the spirit, because verse 18, that's actually what I was looking for. But I'm going to read verse 17, it says, "And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Why? Because martial law. All right, this place is going to be completely shut down. All right. And this is why when you read verse 18, it says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled." And like I said, because America's being saved for last. All right. So, like I said, just because all of this stuff that's going on in these other countries and whatnot, just because it's not directly happening here yet, all right. Again, you can get a little a visual idea of what's going to be taking place. Just like with the vaccines, all right, how that's not, so to say, the mark of the beast. All right, but it's coming in that same spirit, So with these vaccines and these face masks and things of that nature, you can just get a little taste of how it's going to be once the real deal starts coming through. When they start coming through with those microchips, all right. Paying attention to, because these are the signs and tokens that the Lord left for us to pay attention to these things. All right. It says that the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Right? Because, again, just showing how bad things are going to get out here. All right? People are going to rob one another. The love of many waxing more and more cold. All right? And you see that today. All right? People don't give a damn about, for the most part, people can care less about the next man. All right? Because eventually it's going to get to a point where it's going to be every man for himself. And then people are going to start robbing one another and killing one another. All right. So this is the times to come. These things are only going to intensify. And I don't know if I said this already, but the way that Yahweh Shemel Shai is setting us up, all right, a new strain, because you got people looking forward to things getting better, People are optimistic. You know, people think that things are gonna lighten up in 2021. All right, but look how the Lord is setting it up. You know, dealing with this new mutated virus. All right, and this is what's going to carry on or carry over to 2021. So you can just, again, get a idea of how 2020 is just going to spill over to 2021, and from there you can just get use your imagination on how things are just going to continue to intensify. All right, because again, time and time out, got to be reiterated that things are not going to get any better. All right, things are only going to intensify for the worse. It's only going to get worse from here. All right, and this is the perfect setup. New mutated strain, new mutated virus leading into 2021. All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I had on that. The Wadi Yahweh Shemel Shai was finally able to get this video off. And with that, give all credit to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shemel Shai, Barakatham to the hopefully elect. Lord's will, this was edifying. And until next time, Lord's will, say shalom.